Okay, guys, this is game number 2 of the TQ Open, which is a tournament run by the team Think Quick. They're a brand new team, solid players, diamond players, all of them, and they are running this tournament, and I'm very thankful to that because not only did they let me cast, they're putting on amazing games. So here we have game 2. The Protoss in the top did emerge victorious from the first game against Kyhol, the Terran, in the bottom, who picks this map because it is a loser's pick tournament. So we can see that last game was a really passive game with really macro oriented and a lot of interesting army movements going on, but it was really fairly passive in the beginning until really solid. I mean, I really liked a lot of aspects of the play. Like Kyle used his Vikings to snipe the Colossi before they could really do a lot of damage. Because 2 did not move out with the Colossi fast enough, so they were able to be sniped, so that by the time the real army engagements came in, the Colossi were not the main part of the force. So really well played by Kyle in that respect, even though he did end up losing the game. And there was a lot of lag from stealth too. But it was still a very good game on many aspects. So we see normal opening from 2, and we have the harassment from the probe going in Kyle's base. Still fairly normal stuff going on. Let's see. We can see that Kyle is just doing SCV production, refinery, supply depot, blah blah, scouting. We could see some interesting early pressure from 2. Because last game 2 did push in with a little bit of a stalker force in the beginning that dealt a solid amount of damage to Kyle, taking out SCVs, stopping a lot of progression that Kyle could have taken if he hadn't gotten the damage done to him. But stealth is lagging. But there's good placement on the cybernetic score too, just because Kyle does seem to like to try to Hellion harass. So that will take away one of the escape routes of the Hellions if they manage to get into the main base. Because Kyle has dropped. Done drops with medevacs and stuff. So we're going to see what's going on. You can tell that Kyle is doing things normally. So we can see that right now in the Protoss' base, really everything is going on normally. You can see that Chrono Boost is going on. I'm really curious to see what the build is going to be put down after the Cybernetics core. Simply because we can see that the robo play has been a strong, and speak of the devil, there's the robotics facility coming from 2. So we can tell Marauder is coming in. I'm kind of intrigued by the fact that the tech lab came on that fast, but there's nothing else going on in Kyle's base. He might be going for a really fast expansion because his money is getting really high. This SCV might put down a command center. Or maybe not, or maybe yes. Yep, there's the command center. We can actually, Kyle still has. Okay, it's about to get destroyed, but there was an SCV that's gonna be in there to scout. Why is that not an attack move? Because he needs to be able to kill that SCV once he sees it. But now that Kyle sees that he's been spied, he's gonna run in and get the spot and see the robotics facility. Right now, the observer is coming out for 2, so we can see that they both will have a full scout on each other once this goes on. And Kyle's expansion is going up. This map is incredibly easy to expand on, simply because of the fact that there is no way into this natural expansion except either through the main or through these destructible rocks. So it's an incredibly safe thing to do. Interesting mechanics can happen with this map if these destructible rocks are taken out, and then the Terran could theoretically move up this path and then move in behind the base, take out the destructible rocks, and then kill this expansion of the Protoss if the Protoss is out of position with his army placement. So here we have another expansion, this time on the Protoss's part. We can see that Warp Gate is almost done. It does seem like the 2-gate robo is the build that's going to go down. 3-gate robo actually, because a new gateway was just put up, and spotting going on for Protoss. Very solid choice. Protoss does now know that there's an expansion coming up over here. You have the SCV transfer, very solid stuff. It does seem that Kyle's going for a really bio heavy play. He does have the reactor tech lab, but nothing on over here yet. He's keeping his money fairly low, but he doesn't seem to have that good of a harvester count compared to Protoss. Granted, he doesn't have the Chrono Boost capabilities, but Protoss is really playing with a macro orientation to this game. Although the income is in Terran's favor simply because of the mules and the fact that his expo was up sooner. Let's try and see. Yep, Colossi are going to be coming out, which are really effective against a Bioforce. Because if you look at the Marine's health, it's only 45 health. So 2 shots from a Colossus, even with combat shield, 2 shots kill the Marines. Engineering Bay is coming out, Factory. It's quite possible that the Factory could be used for scouting, theoretically, if Kyle's going for a mainly bio build. Because that will allow him to scout without having to use a scan, which, if you assuming you don't lose the Factory, you basically add 270 minerals to your count because of the mule. Like, that's what the mule will mine in its lifetime. But I'm curious to see if a starport is going to come out immediately after this factory, or if this factory is going to try and build Hellions or something in order to actually be able to harass. 2 did use Dark Templar in the last game, so right now it is very, very safe for Kyle to create a missile turret at the front of his base just to make sure that Dark Templar can't come in. Yep, here we go. We have Hellions. Actually, theoretically, he might actually build the reactor on the factory, lift it off, and then land the starport to have double medevac production, or possibly Viking production, depending on if he's really fearing the Colossi or not. Because he is going very heavy on the bio, and Marauders are really good against Colossi. So he could theoretically go straight for the medevacs and then try and use the Marauders to snipe out the Colossi instead of Vikings. But let's see what he decides to make instead. He doesn't have the money to create much out of the starport yet, but let's just take a look at the food count quickly. He is ahead out in food, which is good. He's starting to build another missile turret. He probably wants to get rid of any observers that are in here. But still nothing out of this starport. Another barracks is coming in, and here we have a medevac, yeah. And he actually, the missile turret manages to snipe the observer. Very, very nice. Yep, double medevac production coming in. So it really is a bio-oriented army right now. Actually, really smart move on 2's part. He's expecting the drops. You probably saw the reactor on the starport and figured that drops would be coming because of the fact that medevacs are incredibly good at dropping, because not only can they pick up and drop units, they heal units as well. So you can bring in 4 Marauders, stim them, snipe a building, have them heal completely, pick them up, move back into the back of the mineral line, snipe probes, and then move out without losing any health whatsoever, which is incredibly strong. Alright, so now we have a push not moving out. Push moving out. And we have some spectator chat going on. So we'll see what's going on. 2 did spot this push coming in, so let's see what he does. There are 3 Colossi out, which is going to do very, very well against this army composition, assuming you can keep them away from the Marauders. That's going to be the key thing, is the relationship between these Colossi and these Marauders. It does seem that, it doesn't seem like anybody's really gearing up for an expansion right now. Really, these are just macro games versus macro games. Let's see if they're both spending their money. It's going well. Extended Lance is done. Charge is being researched, and large stalker force are coming in. He probably is going to want to target some of those medevacs because they do heal incredibly fast. Even though their healing speed did get nerfed in the last patch that just happened, they're still incredibly powerful. Good spread on these units. You probably should control the watchtowers just in case the army tries to sneak around here. What I would actually really like Protoss to do, which he actually might be doing, is building a pylon back here and then warping in the couple zealots here and just attacking this mineral line. But let's see. Charge is almost done. He's probably waiting for Charge before pushing out, because Charge is incredibly good against a Bioforce as well as the Colossi. But now that Vikings are starting to be produced, if these Stalkers can keep the Viking count down in order to keep his Colossi count up, this could be bad for Kyhol, because he is going very bio heavy, which dies to charge lots and Colossi. But now, okay, so now here we have the attack. The question is, oh, good force fields though. Good forces. And if he can use the Stalkers to hit this Viking, very good job taking that out. So no Colossi damage yet. Kyhol is now pulling back because he is in a sticky situation right now with just this strong army composition. But let's see, reinforcements coming in. Still no expansions, and we're 15 minutes into the game. This is interesting. A lot of Vikings being produced. And 2 is doing a much better job of controlling his money and spending his money than he did in the last game. But he is getting a little supply block, which is unfortunate. He probably might... Oh, there you go. Here's an expansion coming down. So very, very interesting. He's probably going to push out. Not really actually... He's probably not going to push in. He's probably just going to threaten Terran with the capabilities of pushing in, so that Terran is fearful of moving out, and that will in turn protect his expansion. However, we have 2 random Marines over here that are probably going to scout the expansion, unless this Colossi decides to kill him. There we go. So I don't think Kyhol knows about the... Oh, Kyhol did see the expansion. That's actually really, really key. So now he can probably try and hit him now, assuming that there's a weakness in time because of the expansion. And we got to see how this army is controlled. Because here we go. Now we got the big battle. We got the concave, but here's the question. This ramp is incredibly important. How is this going to get controlled? Good force fields. Very good force fields. The question is, are the Vikings going to be able to take out the Colossi fast enough? That's the real question. These force fields are doing really, really strong. The question is going to be answered with Terran emerging on top in that battle. Wow, he's emerging really, really on top on that battle. This is going to be Terran's game. He can just attack, move, and steamroll over 2 in this game. He takes out this expansion before it can get used at all. And there's really Stalkers and excuse me. There's just Stalkers and a Colossus out at all. These Vikings are going to take out that Colossus in a second. And now with a little stim, these Stalkers are going to go down. Medevacs are going to heal. And really, this is a bad, bad spot for 2. These Vikings can actually land and probably help out the ground army, assuming that no Colossus is about to pop out, which they're not. And there's GG from 2. Very solid game. Good push. Alright, thank you guys for watching.